with yet another important item that we brought here. Because in the same spirit of interagency cooperation, I also wish to briefly acknowledge another significant seizure that was made by the service at Tincan Port. While we were here, another set of 240 footer containers were positioned. And this one has illicit cannabis infused products concealed among other imported goods. These seizures comprise Delta-8 cannabis infused pre-rolled cookies, Delta-8 cannabis infused gummies, and cannabis infused cookies with a total street value of 373,802,640 naira. You will remember that we saw some of this last week, but this inventory taking was not completed. Now it has been completed, and the street value is almost as high as 400 million naira. So these substances this morning will also be formally handed over to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency for further investigation and other actions within its statutory mandate. And this handover too reflects our shared commitment to ensuring that prohibited drugs intercepted in our ports do not find their ways into Nigerian communities. Immediately I finish this assignment, I will be going to Navy Town or Jaw, where I will be having a program with the chairman of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, and this has to do with destruction of substances, drugs, which has been seized, some by NTLA, some by customs, some through combined operations. And for us to have closure to those items, once the investigation is completed, we also come out in the open to show the destruction of this item to ensure that they do not get into the hands of those who will profit with them. Thank you all for your cooperation, and I thank you for the patience. Thank you. On behalf of the officers and men of the Nigerian Customs Service, I want to hand over this file containing the documents, the preliminary investigation to the Director of the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons to continue your investigations. I also want to hand over this as a symbolic handover of the rifles that are here. In addition, we also have the two suspects, which we are going to be handing over to you in continuation of the investigation. Don't worry, it's not loaded yet.
You are afraid?
You all know who are afraid.
I see the muzzle facing us. Why are you afraid?
Any questions?
Yes, sir.
You said you have yes, 8 of them have been taken to court. 8?
No, but the other man.
That's the previous one. He was trying to give you you can explain. Okay. There was the previous one that was handed over. He was just trying to give the progress. Maybe you can.
Yes, I was trying to say clearly that cases handed over to the National Center have been handled professionally with due diligence. Those handed over earlier by the customs have been processed through the court. They are currently facing prosecution in Abuja, and they are equally currently on remand, 11 of them.
Yes, sir. Can you give us the account of your activities in the last 6 or 7 months?
Yeah. In the last 6 or 7 months, I will give you his office address.
Sir, may we know the specific role played by the 2 suspects you have here, sir?
Specific role?
Yes.
It was very clear. One of them made attempts to initiate the clearance of the goods. Last week, we also showed evidence that one of them actually made payments. And then there has been declaration in respect of this. So we got our data from declaration and we are able to link them.
You made a statement on the controller that you've done so much for this city.
I did, and I commended them.
Yeah.
And I will commend them again. And so everything good will follow the commendation.
Including promotions with other officers.
Okay. I will promote you to His Excellency.
Preempted the question.
Because came from, can you just tell us?
Well, these are all things that they will investigate. There is, when you see this, you see designed by Italy. But then we are not deceived because it was designed by Italy. This started from a particular country. All of this information have been handed over to them and they will use it. Let me ask you.
What's next? Now that they've handed over to you, sir, what is next on your line of?
The next is that I will go back to Abuja and they will continue with the investigation. That's the next thing.
All right, sir. Can I ask this, sir? Please, the last time we were here, when you actually showcased this, you told us that 2 suspects were already in custody, and our expectation is that 1 week after, we should have gotten more of it. At least maybe, because I asked a question that I said maybe possibly collusion or if you could get more names.
I won't rule out. I won't rule out collusion, and I also make sure to state that even there could be internal officers who are colluding with them. So there will be no shelter for anybody, whether within the service, whether outside the service. In fact, we even ask them if they had any contact with any journalists. We will carry on with that. Let's see
the ops officer, that one that has been in charge, let's.
On behalf of Officers Island Command, I want to hand over the preliminary investigation reports regarding the seizures of these 2 containers. And I want to hand over the items to you for continuation of your mandate activities, investigation and reports. Thank you.
On behalf of the Chairman, Chief Executive Officer of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Regular General Amara, UFR, retired, I want to thank you, sir, for all your efforts and assistance and the interagency collaboration that is working. We will record that sometimes earlier this year, MOU was signed and another MOU, improved MOU, another version was signed again. I want to sincerely thank you. All this as a result of detailed intelligence gathering, monitoring, and management. I want to thank you, sir. Like I said earlier before, we have suspects that we are investigating. I'm sure this note will help us to do a very thorough job. Thank you for having me.
Can you move back a bit so that you can get?